You wake up in the middle of the night, the faint moonlight shining through the window. The room is silent, yet something feels off. Your entire body is paralyzed. You try to move but cannot. A heavy, invisible force seems to press down on your chest, making it harder to breathe. A growing sense of unease fills you as your eyes adjust to the darkness. And then you see it. A shadowy figure stands quietly in the corner of the room, watching you with an unseen gaze. You want to scream, but you can't. It's as if an invisible hand is choking you, trapping you in a nightmare from which you cannot escape. Time slows down. You struggle to think, to lift your arms or legs, but all efforts are futile. With every passing second, fear rises like a tidal wave, dragging you deeper into panic. The eerie silence around you is deafening, broken only by the pounding of your heart. And then, suddenly, a strange sound. An indistinct whisper, the faint creak of footsteps on the wooden floor, or perhaps just a hallucination born from your fear. This experience is not unique to you. Millions of people around the world have encountered this strange phenomenon. Scientifically, it is known as sleep paralysis, often referred to as the night hag or the shadow people. Some believe it's merely a physiological occurrence. Your body hasn't fully woken up from deep sleep. Others, however, insist it's something far more sinister. A supernatural force attempting to take control of your body as you sleep. Are these shadowy figures from ancient legends, or just a trick of the brain caught between wakefulness and dreams? What exactly is this phenomenon? Is it dangerous? And most importantly, how can you escape when it happens? In this video, we will uncover the mysteries of sleep paralysis, both from a scientific standpoint and through the chilling folklore that has persisted for centuries. Are you ready to step into the world of sleep paralysis? You wake up in the middle of the night. The room is shrouded in darkness, with only faint light seeping through the window. Everything seems normal until you realize something is wrong. Your body is completely immobile. You try to move, but you can't. Your breathing becomes heavier, as if an invisible force is pressing down on your chest, squeezing every breath out of you. Panic sets in, but it doesn't stop there. In the darkness, you sense a presence. A shadowy figure with unseen eyes watching you. You want to scream, but no sound escapes your lips. If you've ever experienced this, you are not alone. This is sleep paralysis, a strange state where the brain is awake but the body remains locked in sleep. It can last from a few seconds to several minutes, but for those who have gone through it, it feels like an eternity trapped in a living nightmare. But what exactly happens? Why do you get stuck between sleep and wakefulness? As you fall asleep, your body enters a state of relaxation with slowed heart rate and breathing. During REM sleep, rapid eye movement, the brain is highly active, but the body is temporarily paralyzed to prevent us from physically acting out our dreams. Sometimes, a person suddenly wakes up while still in REM sleep. This causes the brain to become conscious while the body remains frozen. You can open your eyes and sense your surroundings, but you are completely unable to move or speak. Many people report feeling a heavy weight pressing down on their chest, making it difficult to breathe. This sensation is actually a neurological reaction. The body is still in paralysis mode but is trying to respond to its environment. When highly stimulated, the body may experience temporary breathing difficulties and an increased heart rate, creating the illusion of suffocation. As the brain struggles to make sense of the paralysis, it may generate visual or auditory hallucinations. Some people report seeing shadowy figures, hearing whispers, or even feeling an unseen presence touching them. In certain cases, these hallucinations become so vivid that people believe they are encountering supernatural entities. After a few seconds or minutes, the brain realizes there is no real danger, and the nervous system reactivates body movement. You begin to feel tingling in your fingers and toes before slowly regaining full mobility. Some people feel as if they are being pushed out of the paralysis state, suddenly sitting up with a pounding heart and drenched in sweat. Sleep paralysis can be terrifying, especially when accompanied by disturbing hallucinations. However, science provides an explanation for this phenomenon. But why do these hallucinations often take on such eerie and sinister forms? Could there be something more mysterious at play? Sleep paralysis is not just a scientific phenomenon. In many cultures, it's also seen as a mystical experience, often linked to eerie legends. For some, it is merely a state of temporary paralysis during sleep. But for others, sleep paralysis is a sign of something far more terrifying, unseen entities lurking in the shadows. So is sleep paralysis just a physiological phenomenon, or is there something more mysterious behind it? Let's explore real-life stories, folk beliefs, and supernatural legends about sleep paralysis from around the world. The heavy weight on the chest. David, 32 years old, shares, "Every time I experience sleep paralysis, I feel an invisible force pressing down on my chest. I try to move, but I can't. My breathing becomes heavier, and I try to scream, but no sound comes out. All I can do is lie still, waiting for the nightmare to end." The shadow in the corner. Elizabeth, 27 years old, says, "I've had sleep paralysis since childhood. Every time it happens, I see a shadowy figure standing silently in the corner of my room, watching me. Even though I try to stay calm, every second feels like an eternity." The whispering voice. Jack, 29 years old, recounts, "Once, during sleep paralysis, I heard whispers right next to my ear, even though I was alone in my room. The voice wasn't clear, but it felt as if someone was speaking to me from the darkness." Vietnam. Mother. Ghost pressing. Many Vietnamese believe sleep paralysis is caused by wandering spirits or bad feng shui in the bedroom. Some people place knives, scissors, or garlic under their pillows to ward off the phenomenon. Japan. Kanashibari. The Japanese term kanashibari means being bound by an unseen force. They believe this phenomenon is related to vengeful spirits that have not yet moved on. Europe. The Night Hag. In Western folklore, there is a legend about an old hag or small demon that sits on the chest of sleeping victims, causing paralysis. Middle East. Jinn. In Islamic folklore, sleep paralysis is often attributed to jinn, mystical beings that appear at night to haunt or play tricks on people. Legend of Mare, the sleep demon of Northern Europe. Northern Europeans believe sleep paralysis is caused by an evil spirit known as Mare. Mare is said to be a ghostly female entity that sits on the chest of sleeping victims, causing suffocation and paralysis. The Night Hag. Western folklore. According to legend, the Night Hag appears at night to drain the life energy of her victims. She has ghostly white eyes, a wrinkled face, and bony hands. Shadow people. Mysterious figures in the dark. Many sleep paralysis victims report seeing shadowy figures standing around their bed. These entities have no distinct features, only dark silhouettes moving as if they are alive. Are these legends merely products of human imagination? Or is there something truly lurking behind the sleep paralysis phenomenon? In the next part, we will decode sleep paralysis from a scientific perspective and explore ways to prevent it. Sleep paralysis is not just a fleeting phenomenon. For many, it leaves lasting psychological effects. Frequent episodes can severely disrupt sleep quality, increase stress levels, and even affect cardiovascular health. How exactly does sleep paralysis impact us? Let's explore its psychological and health consequences. Why does sleep paralysis terrify people? Sleep paralysis is one of the most terrifying sleep experiences. Not only do people find themselves unable to move, but they also experience hallucinations, a suffocating sensation, or the eerie presence of an unseen entity. The feeling of helplessness and panic. I woke up, but couldn't move. It felt like someone was pressing on my chest. I tried to scream, but couldn't. A shadowy figure appeared in the corner of my room. I panicked, but was completely helpless. Scientific explanation. During sleep paralysis, the brain is awake, but the body remains locked in REM sleep. This disconnect creates the terrifying feeling of being trapped, triggering panic and anxiety. Extreme fear when trapped in sleep paralysis. Avoiding sleep or developing a fear of sleeping. Somnophobia. Panic upon waking at night, fearing another episode. Why do people see shadow figures? One of the scariest aspects of sleep paralysis is the vivid hallucinations that often accompany it. Many report seeing shadowy figures near their bed, hearing whispers, or feeling an unseen presence touching them. Scientific explanation. Sleep paralysis occurs in a state between wakefulness and dreaming, allowing the brain to create visual, auditory, or tactile hallucinations. Panic heightens these sensations, making them feel real. Common types of hallucinations. Visual hallucinations, seeing dark figures, terrifying faces, or glowing eyes. Auditory hallucinations, hearing whispers, knocking sounds, or eerie laughter. Tactile hallucinations, feeling someone touching them or pressing on their chest. Sleep paralysis doesn't just cause fear. It can also severely disrupt sleep patterns, especially if it occurs frequently. Fear-induced insomnia. I had sleep paralysis once, and since then, I've been afraid to sleep. Every time I close my eyes, I worry it will happen again. I lie awake for hours, and some nights I don't sleep at all. Consequences of sleep paralysis-induced insomnia. Light, fragmented sleep with frequent awakenings. Chronic exhaustion and persistent daytime fatigue. Increased risk of REM sleep disorders, reducing overall sleep quality. Sleep paralysis can affect brain function, memory, and concentration, especially when it leads to chronic sleep deprivation. Why does sleep paralysis impact memory? Disrupts REM sleep, weakens information processing. Lack of sleep reduces hippocampus activity, the brain's memory storage center. Chronic stress increases cortisol levels, impairing memory retention. During sleep paralysis, heart rate can suddenly spike, especially in the individuals with pre-existing heart conditions. Why does sleep paralysis affect the heart? Acute stress response triggers an adrenaline surge, causing a rapid heart rate. Panic reaction forces the heart to work harder, potentially leading to temporary arrhythmias. Higher risk of stroke in older individuals or those with cardiovascular issues. Clearly, sleep paralysis is not just a minor sleep disturbance. If it occurs repeatedly, it can have serious psychological and physical consequences. So is there a way to control and prevent sleep paralysis? From fear to understanding. Sleep paralysis is a mysterious and terrifying phenomenon that can leave you waking up in the middle of the night, feeling helpless, panicked, and experiencing strange hallucinations. However, the more we learn about it, the clearer it becomes that sleep paralysis is not a curse, nor a supernatural force, but simply a state of the brain caught between wakefulness and dreaming. Many people who have experienced sleep paralysis worry, fear, and even avoid sleep, but in reality, knowledge is the key to overcoming it. Once you understand the causes, prevention methods, and ways to manage sleep paralysis, you will no longer feel afraid when it happens. Think about this. If you know that the hallucinations during sleep paralysis are just creations of the brain, would you still fear the dark shadows in the corner of your room? If you understand that the paralysis is just a protective mechanism of REM sleep, would you still panic when you cannot move? If you know how to improve your sleep habits, could you completely eliminate the chances of experiencing sleep paralysis? Yes, absolutely. You can control sleep paralysis. Sleep paralysis is not an uncontrollable random event. There are many ways to prevent and reduce the chances of experiencing it. Improve sleep quality. Stick to a regular sleep schedule, avoid caffeine, and ensure sufficient rest. Optimize your sleeping environment. Keep your bedroom clean and comfortable, and limit exposure to blue light from phones or TVs before bed. Adopt a proper sleeping position. Sleeping on your side instead of on your back can reduce the likelihood of sleep paralysis. Stay mentally relaxed. Avoid stress before bedtime by practicing meditation, deep breathing, or listening to calming music. Maintain a healthy lifestyle. Light exercise and a balanced diet can significantly support better sleep. From now on, you won't fear sleep paralysis anymore. If sleep paralysis was once a nightmare, now you have the knowledge to overcome it. Remember, all fears stem from a lack of understanding, and once you fully grasp the phenomenon, it loses its power over you. Actions you can take today to avoid sleep paralysis. Start by maintaining a consistent sleep schedule, avoiding caffeine, and creating a comfortable sleep environment. Try deep breathing exercises, meditation, or listening to soft music before bed to relax your body and mind. If you ever experience sleep paralysis, stay calm, focus on your breathing, and remind yourself that it will pass quickly. Have you ever experienced sleep paralysis? Have you ever had sleep paralysis? What was your experience like? Do you have any tips to overcome it? Share your thoughts in the comments below.